You know, in the 81 countries I was with before, in stupid times, went to high schools in stupid times, born in Rome and the UN, I come to the conclusion that no matter what record breaks you make in space time or science, or even cheap as cancer and think, no matter what you do, you're going to have your head smashed in on those lines in America on July 21st. Because that already happened, you know. The CIA had the intelligence once, and then I gave it to them, and then with time, a lot of lines and runnings defending the Barents and the work on the growth lines, because Fresno has absolutely shit all diddly squat to do with sciences. So they know this. So the cycles that they sent against me, this Disney, it's 2-1. You're not fascist, you're just horse. And she went with that. That's why Dr. Parrots has federal paperwork in Europe against your horse. For instance, when Heine was Jewish, from Hells Angels, from Fresno, who was in San Quentin Federal Prison, there's a lot of people from Fresno are in federal prison in LA because there's no federal prison in Fresno. The lies of Fresno for the parents. Their inventions, their girlfriends, the nurses, the nursing homes, the hospital, the Van Ness Avenue. You joke, US. This is on your land. The ones who are paying the scientists is big. This is no NASA. Dark mission. This is no little ship. This was a big ass ship to yacht with flyers and runners. These are not people sitting on their fat ass writing paperwork. These are the people who were flyers and runners. I'm the relic of that. In 81 countries. Take out one, scrap it out, the US. My question to you is, do you think smashing somebody's head on those lines in the full knowledge from China you would see it coming, that you're going to get something out of the corporations with that gun? That you have 2-1. Holland. The Hague. I'm not going to fight nice. I'm not going to fight stupid. I'm not going to fight retard. It's all news on the news, Indios. And if I could change it, I would. But I don't have pretenses. I'm not that girl. I have to admit it. I'm a different format. I'm an anomaly. Because when you smash somebody's head on those lines, you don't bring them back in any shape or format. Not in pink. Definitely not in blues. And if you do, then you have to ask some religious orders out there in other countries or other intel agencies in Russia or Arabia or the United Nations or Western Europe where I was born in Rome or England or Germany. Ask anybody there and they'll tell you, anyone, what that girl was before you smash her head on those lines. Denying and sending psychos is going to make you look like backward because that's what you want. That's why we call it Schadenfreude Jr. Taking the joy and the pain of others and of Disney, especially on my literal Crawleys, although Crawleys and literal Crawleys after the smash them out on those lines. When the CIA sees that, they blame the Mossad on those lines, most likely, but it wasn't only the Mossad. You knew the ship was going to leave with the yachts and the bridges. It showed up all over the capital cities. You knew that the academic sciences, whether they were Polish, Egyptian, the pink, or the Russian and the Saudi, dark near, grays and blacks of the scientists and the corporations who are on the coastlines who are going to walk with that girl. The brother of the mother is the head of sciences at Warsaw University. He's 96 years old. Think of the history of the Eastern Bloc for 96 years. The same with the cousin of the father in Cairo, Egypt. He said, go to Saudi Arabian mayor. Go to Russian mayor. Now, they said that I'm a plum in time. What did they mean after the smashed in head on the coastlines? What did they mean by wormhole to worm? And why are you psycho bitches following me here too from the Laura Shelter? Through Blondie. These are not people who are flattering me, copying me. These are not delinquents or others in schools who flattered me who knew me since I was 5 years old. These are not professors or others that I grew up with on the ground, in attics, in basements, on grounds. These are not scientists. And those 80 countries, unless you want to add 81. I can't change what happened on those lines because that girl had her head smashed in on those lines. I can't change the ship, the yacht, the mermaid. The mermaid is a fairy tale that already happened for me because I already had my head smashed in on those lines. You are terrorists. You can't even look at Disneyland. Who's paying for this? Who gained? Who lost? Who's gaining? Who's losing? You can't even think. Your goodness, your Mother Teresa's, there's nothing good about you inside you. And you're not even intelligent. You're the people. Jewish people coming up to me with their thugs. They're renowned for Schadenfreude. They're renowned for their ugliness. And we can get away with that, Disneyland. But why did they bring me back for a split second? Let me ask you, why would they bring back Disneyland after a smashed in head on the ghost lines they came and done? All that paperwork for what cats? There must be something going on, don't you think? Your extra paperwork with Dr. Parrots. I don't give a shit. That girl already had her head smashed in on the ghost lines. I don't even call that abuse. I call that American. With cheerleaders who will reopen my building. Beaches, I'll kill you, beaches. And college kids going, I got a PhD. I can do anything with a PhD. They reopen your Ivy League fucking empty buildings of Jamila. In NASA. The Greys and Blacks. The McFarians. The Space Tags. And most importantly, if you're so good, what about the cancer corporations in Poland, the lowlands? Bad die assholes. The lighter 20th of the 21st century wasn't born for this. After a smashed in head on the science particular corn cob. But to show to you that you could see it from fucking China. What about Fresno for the barons and retirements? Is that a question? Born in pioneer camps beyond the capital cities. Not any capital city. Pioneer champions at very young ages. And everything. Hired as D1s. Basically below the Director General. D1s. But pioneer camps beyond the capital cities. Oxford job. Later on TCR, a few years before he retired. Catholic Relief Services, UN, D1s, both parents. You don't deserve them cuts. I may not deserve them cuts because I already had my head smashed in on August lines and I'm a replacement job. And you, my dear, you have more than pretenses. Do you know how many flyings there were beyond the library? How many runnings above on the hills? The fuck did you invent on the earth? Nothing. Because that shit's empty. There are leaders. The Holy Grail, you know? It shouldn't happen in Intel on US soil. As though you want to feel like woman hurting Disney. Of course, the American way. Trying to fortune. Not even for a blimp in time when you're the fresh air. I've actually gone after blood for West to go about. They look at you like animals, like the zoo, literally. And we have the phenomenon of the cats and the dogs and the birds going around in circles in all those capital cities, not only around. All over. Rome, London, both internationals, even Russian Arabians. I didn't go to Turk where Grandmama's from. That's good for that. They say I'm the missing link. But what happened to that girl on the slides? I'm just a different format of that girl. Particular quarterback. Big. A train pool in the house, you terrorists. CIA. I was one of you long ago. I'm not sure. And abroad to the UN. It was a phenomenon in space time. And I was famous for that. In Western Europe, in London, in the UN, in Rome, in Germany, both internationals, Russia, Arabia. I was too busy flying and running on those lines. Look at me now. On Disneyland, 221. You send your cyclists. Man, that's not how you do it, asshole. think you're going to scare Disneyland after what you did to Eleanor Slimes with a smashed in head. You're not only a coward, you're a fucking retard. Keep your PhDs. Keep your stupid bitches. That shit stays empty. And that shit to yacht bridges. News on the news Indios. You'd see it from fucking China. And it's all news on the news Indios, literally. You created your own hell on all those lines. Hotel California. As for Fresno, for the barons, they're also terrorists. Because you could have easily gone to Fresno, to the intelligence of Fresno, with the hospital, the nursing home, the nurses there. The intelligence of Fresno, for the father and the mother. You don't have parents there. You don't want to think. You don't want to do shit. You don't want to lift your ass. You're like me in Disneyland after you smash my head on the restaurants. You need to leave Disneyland for the rest of the time. Just like I'm Disneyland for the rest of the time. And as for the blue, they're not near me. No, and Deborah and the others say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I looked at him and said, "You sure about this? I'm Disneyland." Everybody's like, "Yep." Seen enough of this shit. So why are you sitting your fat ass? And you don't know the shit that happens in your own country on those lines. And the professors got even open that shit on those lines. And the academicians in Woolwich in Germany and Rome and the UN and lots of years ago. That shit's empty though. She had her head smashed in. New mathematics. And it's not more than that. I don't have magnitude. You rehearse Disneyland and you deny me. The girl really didn't have much time. She was too busy flying and runnings around the world, writing elsewhere and defending the balance. Because at the end of 85, I had my head smashed in on the hills, on the roof. That library. And here you have this one. Dankeschön für nichts. I was wondering how they brought back kids from a smashed in head on other lines, Pink and Blues. Pink, not so much. Blues. Other than wormhole to worm, ship to yacht corporations and everything else. But it happened on your lands, you see, US. So perfection, right? So you have to start thinking a little bit about the amount of intelligence that you lost on those lands. And not some dark mission. Okay? Together with the corporations. Because I'm the relic of that. And I was supposedly the owner of those 4 buildings, not cancer. The July 2021st buildings were the Mac variants, which is basically the Shakespeare bomb, which is the most advanced bomb on the planet shared between the Russians, the Saudis, the United Nations, and Britain in 1998, which would be my first master, or should I say the first one. Congratulations. Could have smashed an head on the most lines than the others that left with a... But then I didn't do Mac variants only, did I? And I didn't do cancer only, did I? I used to do space tech, correct? Because that's where the Mac variants would have come from. July 20th of the 20th century. Now those are the buildings in Massachusetts and New England and NASA that are empty. But I'm dead. And I'm no Jodie Foster. Fucking bitch. You don't send me, psychopath, following me to London with your high knees. Let's put it this way. You're the extras. You know what an extra is? The Dr. Parrots? I'm not an extra. Rehashing 2 to 1 is not an extra. You're too stupid to understand why I came back. From the wormhole to the worm, science as you went. I did connect with those small boys to go bars. I'm 51 years old. 51. I got out of Fresno at the age of 40 in 2017. Don't fuck with me. And that's for the barons. Consider I'm Disneyland. I have the train pool now. We now know that you don't have any patriots anywhere in San Francisco. Or in Fresno for sure. You have none of that. You have no sciences in Fresno. Nothing. You're just Jewish slobs. Bitches and whores and assholes. White trash. Tom and Jerry Dart out. Namely, his buddies, his friends, some chulos, and the rest. In other words, Fresno's fame. With the hospital, the nursing home, the shootouts, and all the frame of Fresno that you created. When you could have easily gone to Fresno and given them the Havana 696969. Because now it's the people with the t-shirts on micropolis and metropolis and the capital cities, all 80 countries. You want to start counting how many more from capital cities and towns have those t-shirts? 696969. I'll show you, we mentioned the cats, the dogs, and the birds going around in capital cities. That phenomenon. But now, zoo, full of bodies. Scotland film and Red Global. You're regretting what you lost from all those nights when you would see him coming from China, you're pretending. You knew those guys were going to be with them. Up on mama. Look at their jobs, what they did for society, how calm, how steady my parents are. Here goes the analogy from high school. The Matvariant element is not related to the Bochron element. Parents. And now the highest forms of intellect to show something here. Especially after the smashed tornado with the flames of that dog. I mean, they have an easy life, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to have the same brain I had before. I'm not the same girl. I'm a different, another girl. Particular cornhole. Of course, something behind that girl miraculously. Geniuses, Untermensch, coastlines. What about Fresno for the parents? You can't change the coastlines, I can tell you that. And all the good wishes and all the prayers on the planet. That girl and those guys left long ago. Now you know why you hate me. You hated me when I was alive. Hate me when I'm dead and busy now. And that's not even mentioning the parents of personal retirements with the hanging benches of Laura Quintus and Mary Rick, the Supreme Court defending both of them. The many lines beyond the library, that many times runnings on the hills of that girl. And yes, my crawlies, little crawlies. Remember, that's their retirements, you terrorists. Could not go to Fresno. Is this a power game? My dad, my mom, is that it? I'm the best in science, you check. Space check on my science. Is this a power game you want? I don't care for politicians. Sciences doesn't care for politicians. Humanitarian relief services, D1s, I don't care for politicians. With the work, you stupid retard. But I went to school with presidents, and so what? They have holes in their houses. Everyone's blaming me. Look, those buildings are empty. I'm getting sick because of that. It would turn into a monster. Blues ain't monsters, and pink ain't monster. You are a monster. Because you're a 5-year-old retard who can't understand that. But then he goes to the garden. I don't blame them. Goodbye, US.